Dorla real estate agent in South Louisiana, most specifically Acadiana. This is a question I get often. Is it a good time to buy? And is it a good time to sell? And listen, that is such a subjective question with lots of answers. And this is the answer that I will give you. If you are needing or wanting to buy, if you are needing or wanting to sell, then it's a great time, because the time is when you are ready. So first I'm going to talk about selling. As a seller, I would say you can't be halfway in if you want to sell. If you want to sell, you need to be all in. You need to know that preparing your home to hit the market and be show ready to show it to potential buyers is not fun. It is not easy. It takes a whole lot of work and preparation, but it is always worth the outcome. When you are the seller and you have done every single thing that you needed to do to get it sold, and you're sitting at the closing table and you are able to hand over your keys to the buyer and receive the check from the closing attorney for the amount that you have made on the sale of your home, you always are exhausted in a good way, but you are happy that it's done, and it's all worth the effort, I guarantee you. Number one, if you're a seller, thinking about being a seller, choose your real estate agent wisely. We're all self-contracted. We all do things differently. Choose a real estate agent who you feel like you absolutely 1,000,000% trust to do what they need to do to make you the maximum amount of profits in the shortest amount of time. And that's what you should do as a seller. If you are thinking about buying, it is an amazing time to be a buyer, because the good news is there are lots and lots and lots of people selling their homes right now who did not sign up with a real estate agent who did a dynamite job of getting them to prepare their home ready to hit the market to sell. And you are in a position as a buyer, if you choose an amazing real estate agent who loves negotiating, who absolutely thrives on problem solving, negotiating, being proactive, and getting you the best deal, it is an amazing time to be a buyer. Absolutely, probably no better time to be a buyer. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, in the COVID days, the interest rates are in the 2s and the 3s, I guarantee you, ask every single person that you know that bought a house in COVID time when those interest rates were in the 2s and 3s, and I guarantee you they paid list price, or they paid well above list price, and the sellers probably didn't pay any of their closing costs, if any, right? So yes, when rates are real low, the sellers are ultimately at the advantage. As a buyer, the position you're in now, where the interest rates are just average, they are absolutely just average. They may trickle down a little bit more, but they're probably pretty good where they are. You are in the position to purchase a potential home that has either sat on the market for a very long time, so you can get a really, really good deal, has potentially sat on the market a very long time, so you may get the seller to pay all of your closing costs, has sat on the market for a long time, so you as the buyer may get the seller to fix every single thing on the inspection. You as a buyer are in the driver's seat right now. So it is an amazing time to be a buyer. But if you are not exactly ready to be a buyer, and maybe you need to raise your credit score, maybe you need to pay down some debt, get on it and come up with a plan. And if you have not had a great conversation with a mortgage broker, not your local bank unless you want to pay 20% down or more, a mortgage broker who is going to give you a plan and is going to tell you you need to do this, this, and this, and you can buy a house either in the next few weeks, the next few months, whatever the case may be. You need a plan as a buyer because it is an amazing time to be a buyer if you have an amazing real estate agent on your team who knows how to negotiate for you as the buyer, all right? So, is it a great time to be a buyer? Is it a great time to be a seller? If you're all in, if you're motivated, and if you're ready to do it. But if you're not very motivated and you're one of those people who need somebody to cheer you on and to get you to the next step, listen, I love doing that kind of thing. I absolutely love working with people who just maybe don't have the confidence that they need to really get out there and get it. Listen, if you are, let me think about this for a minute before I say this. If you're one of those people who are whiny, or maybe you always have a problem, you always have a fracas. Listen, I may not be the best real estate agent for you. I will tell you, I absolutely love getting to the closing table. But if you're one of those people who just need direction, and when somebody tells you what to do, you'll do it, absolutely, I'm your girl. But if you are the kind of person that you need somebody to, I don't know, like to tie you or just, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being rude. But if you're just one of those people that just always have a problem and somebody's going to have to hound you and hound you and hound you, listen, that's not me. That is not me. I will give you the roadmap and I will set you up with the people who are going to help you get to where you need to be. But I'm not going to call you and bother you and bother you and bother you to do what you need to do. I'm going to tell you, if you're the seller, I recommend you do this, 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 and this. And when you're ready, you give me a call and we'll get the photographer and the videographer out there and we will get your house sold. If you're a buyer and you want to buy and I say, listen, you need to give this mortgage broker a call, come up with a plan and get pre-approved, I'm not going to call you every week and say, hey, have you called that person? Have you gotten pre-approved? Listen, that's not me. That is not what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what to do and I'm going to assume that you're going to go do it. And if I tell you, listen, as the buyer, this is an amazing mortgage broker, call this person, get pre-approved, and then call me back once you have your pre-approval, and you know your amount, and you know your loan type, then we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to look at houses that you want to see that you're in your budget, and we're going to find you a house. But I am not going to call you and say, have you called that person? Have you gotten your pre-approval? Have you done the things you need to do? That's all you. So, as a buyer and as a seller, number one, you need to be motivated, you need to follow instructions, and you need to just come up with the plan and follow the plan that whoever is on your side is giving you. And then, listen, it's not rocket science, but if it's hard for you to understand, then you need to set you up with a real estate agent who is not going to mind you asking them a million questions. I was a teacher in my previous life. Listen, I taught 3rd grade, I taught 5th grade, I taught 6th grade. I love answering questions and I love teaching. So if you need to know what to do, but then once somebody tells you what to do, you're taking the ball and you're going for it, that is the kind of person that I want to work with. So if you're a buyer or a seller and you're good at taking instructions and you're good at taking the bull by the horns once somebody tells you what to do, you're on the right track. You need a plan. And you need some people on your team that are going to help you get it done. And then it's doable. It's absolutely doable. And listen, if you're a buyer and you have good credit, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be excellent. It just needs to be good to fair, right? And even if you don't have any money, if you have never bought a house, the potential is there that you absolutely can buy a house with zero money down. And that is a true story. And listen, before I got into real estate, I never would have thought that in a million years. I thought you had to have 20% down to buy a house. Absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. All right? Y'all have a great rest of the week. Remember, in real estate, there are no stupid questions. Ask all your questions. Don't hesitate to ask your questions. And if you're in a position working with someone, whether it's a real estate agent, a lender, a mortgage broker, anybody that's making you feel stupid for asking those hard questions, listen, You have the right to fire that person and choose a different person. There are so many people out there who are going to be patient with you, who are going to answer all your questions, and who are going to take you by the hand and help you get to the closing table, whether you're a seller or a buyer. Just remember that. Y'all take care.